So, Bezrat Hashem, thank God, between all of those waves and storms, stones and rocks and mountains that are moving from one side to the other, and we're still able, thank God, to come to the Beit Midrash and to learn Torah and to remember Hashem during all of that time of stress. And the truth is that as much as you see that times are harder and that the difficulties are coming in more close to each other, no more spaces between the difficulties, and jumping from one trouble to the other, from one situation to the next, and after the noise there's quiet. In the time of stress, the person needs to remind himself that the Creator wants me to be quiet, not to be distracted from what that goes on. It doesn't mean that we're not taking part, and it doesn't mean that we don't feel the pain, and it doesn't mean that we don't have our part in all of what that Am Yisrael are going through. But Am Yisrael, they have to have a handle, they have to have a lifeline. And as a lifeline, you have to watch over your sanity and your quiet and your peace of mind, because if you will not going to be calm, how are you going to help other people to come back to sanity and to go back from all of their stress and anxieties? The truth is that we cannot understand Hashem, and we should just believe in Him, like we spoke last week, that in the place that the wisdom, that the sechel, the brain of the person finish, because he is limited, in that moment you can start believing Hashem. That's the time that you start believe, and to the faith there's no end, no borders anymore. It's true, the faith is coming in the night, but what it means in the night? In the night it means when the light of eyes of wisdom are not illuminating. When you look at the situation and you don't see it bright and clear that's that, you don't recognize it, you don't know that, it's not familiar, you don't know what's going on, you cannot understand that, that's the time to believe. And in what we can believe? We can believe in something that is the foundation of all religion and of all faith. That Avraham Avinu, he is the foundation of all kinds of faith in the world, and everyone are actually based on his understandings. And we're like them in that way, that we receive that simple faith that there is unity, there is one God above us, and He chose us, and He loves us, and He is merciful, and that's it. And there's not too many things to do except of try to connect ourselves to that again and again, and in every situation. And it's true that we have a lot to fix, and every time we're finding ourselves fighting on the faith from a different angle. Sometimes you need to be soft, and sometimes to break your cruelty, and some other time you need to be strong and to break your fears, and you have to stand up for yourself. And sometimes you need to be generous, and you need to give more than you feel like you're able. And in another situation you need to know how to put a line and to say, hey, it's too much, I'm not able to give right now. And it's true that it can be confusing, but like we said, the only way that you're gonna know if you're doing the right thing is if you check yourself all of the time. If you check your pulse, if you check your will, what do I want? If now I want Hashem, and I do want to nullify myself to the highest will of them all, to will of all will, I want to serve, I want to commit myself to Him. I'm not looking for my lusts and desires, I just do want to do the right thing now. So now, no matter which decision you're going to take, it's going to be the right decision. And like that we learned, אמר רב נחמן בר יצחק, גדולה עבירה לשמה ממצווה שלא לשמה. Even to sin for Hashem יתברך, you have the right attention, right meaning, right reason to sin. It's higher than to keep a mitzvah without the right intention. If now you see, I'll give you an example. It was the second or third Shabbos that my wife and I decided to keep 13, 14 years ago. And in Friday noon, very close to sunset, my wife got a phone call from her sister in Tel Aviv. We lived in Jerusalem, she lived in Tel Aviv, and she's crying. And for a couple of hours, she's just crying and crying and crying over the phone. And we had to go to be with her, to help her, no matter what. And my wife, she started to cry also. I told her why. She said, because I want to go, but I know that Shabbos is very important for you. Because we had a lot of conversations on starting keeping Shabbos. It wasn't something that came easily, like all of the rest. So until we came to that time that we decided to keep Shabbos, now it's a second or third Shabbos, and already we're about to jump into the car and to drive to Tel Aviv. It was very hard. And I told her, listen, we have next Shabbos also. It's okay. At least we understand. And that's before I met Rav Shalom Arush, before I learned Rabbi Nachman in Breslov. It's simple, it's a straight mind. That's how you should think. Are you here for today or are you here for forever? You're here to serve Hashem, so relax. And we drove to Tel Aviv and we were crying, both of us, all of the way we were crying. Think about that a person, he cries because he's not able to keep Shabbos, that he wants to keep Shabbos so much and he's not able. You think it doesn't count? There is another person that he sits in his house, he went to shul in that Shabbos, and he came and the table was ready and the kids were polite and the wife, she was on mute and everything was perfect. And you think that Shabbos was more important to Hashem Yitbarach than us driving, crying, and wanting to keep Shabbos? I'm sure that we were more important in that Shabbos. Violating and breaking and driving in Shabbos, whatever. Some Haredi guy could throw stones on us if he would like. But he would miss for sure. Because we were with Hashem. Because Hashem, He wants your heart. And you should give your heart. And what it means, your heart? Your heart is your neshama. Your heart is your soul. And you need to give your soul. Each and every one of us have a different heart. We have a different soul. And you need to give yourself. You cannot give me. You cannot give me. You cannot give like someone else. You and I sitting together in the same Bet Knesset and we're putting tefillin. So you bought your tefillin in $1,000 and I bought my tefillin in $500. No one knows whose tefillin are more kosher. Actually, probably both are kosher. And we're sitting and we're putting tefillin. So you gave a little bit more, I gave a little bit less. But we're trying. I gave everything that I had. Maybe my 500 count a lot more than your 1,000. Maybe for you it was a piece of cake to give $1,000 for those tefillin, and I was working for 6 months to find those 500. Who knows? So we don't really know. And it doesn't really matter. We know that all of the mitzvot, Shabbat, we're all keeping Shabbos. So Shabbos is Shabbos. Tefillin, tefillin. Kashrut, kashrut. Everything we do the same. Only when you express your, how do you say, individuality. When you do that, then you become to be special in the eyes of Hashem. If not, you're a robot. That's it. Thank God. Very nice. What's your number? No problem. It's not it. Only when you reveal the godliness that is inside of you, when you reveal your soul, like we said last week, when you read between the line. If you remember, more than 1 year ago, maybe 2 years ago, we spoke about that, ones that been in those classes. I asked you, how can it be that if the rabbi, he gives a class from Likutei Moharan, and Rabbi Nachman in Breslov, for sure, he was more righteous than that rabbi that now gives the class. Today there's a class, 2015, Rabbi Nachman in Breslov, he was here 200 years ago, grandson of Baal Shem Tov, and we know a little bit about Rabbi Nachman in Breslov. We do believe that Rabbi Nachman was a lot more important, a lot more righteous than that person that now gives a class. Even if he's very important, even if he's... We're Hasidei Breslov, we're following Rabbeinu, the light of the world, the Tzaddik Yesod Olam, foundation of the world, that's our faith. Now that rabbi, that righteous man now holds the Likutei Moharan, and he reads 2 lines from Likutei Moharan. That's what he do. He reads 2 lines of Likutei Moharan, and for an hour, he gonna talk from his heart. Now, which part of the class gonna help you to do tshuva? Which part of the class gonna be stronger for you? Gonna make you more committed to Hashem? Those 2 lines that rabbi read from Likutei Moharan, 2 lines that he read from Sipurei Maasiyot, or the rest of the class? For sure the rest of the class. How can it be? You go to a class, you have words of Rabbi Nachman in Breslov, and then you have words of a certain rabbi that is talking from his heart. And for sure you know that Rabbi Nachman in Breslov was a lot more righteous than that rabbi that is talking in front of your eyes now. But still you're going to do tshuva actually by the words of that rabbi and not by the words of Rabbi Nachman in Breslov. If that rabbi now going to read for you for 60 minutes Likutei Moharan, 60 minutes Likutei Moharan, you will not going to come back to that class again. You don't care about hearing those words, but you do care very much to hear those new things that rabbi is going to talk. How can it be? If we all understand that Rabbi Nachman in Breslov is a lot higher than that rabbi, so how can it be that the words of that rabbi are a lot more required, a lot more important for us than the words of Rabbi Nachman in Breslov? And especially when Rabbi Nachman in Breslov is telling us that you have to seek and to find the most righteous person, rabbi, that he's going to lead you, the ones that are going to be the biggest of them. How can it be? Like we said, because when you read words from Likutei Moharan, you read the black fire. You read from the letters of the Torah. Those are the constrictions. Those are the midot. Those words of Torah have a border. But when you talk from what that you understand between the lines, you're pulling out water from the white fire, from the soul of Rabbi Nachman in Breslov. From your soul, you're connecting yourself to the soul of Rabbi Nachman in Breslov. From your soul, you find a connection to the righteous man's soul, the one that wrote that book. And then you have the ability to bring out from the infinity, from the light of the Torah of Kedem, of before creation. That's the Torah that's going to be revealed in the days of Mashiach. Torah that's going to come out from inside, from your inside, not from my inside, from your inside. because you also can read between the lines. Because when you go after a class to the field and you talk to Hashem about that class and you say, hey, what's going to be with me? That's the time that you start bringing it out from your soul. Because your spirit reveals itself when you talk. Nafshi yatz'a bedabero. When you talk and when you express yourself, you express your neshama, your soul. And when you don't talk, you not express yourself. You're not expressing yourself. You're not revealing yourself. You will never gonna find yourself. But when you start doing that, another hour and another hour, suddenly you have so much light inside of yourself that is a lot higher than the Torah that you learned. A lot higher than the Torah that you learned. So it's true, you have to have that key, you have to sit and learn a few lines of Torah to bring you into that opportunity, to that option of finding yourself enjoying from the light of between the lines, the light of your own neshama. Because on the same pages you can write Tanya, and you can write Likutei Moharan, and Kedushat HaLevi, and Orach Chaim HaKadosh, and all of the Mishnayot. It's the same light. It's the same white pages. It's the same light of the white fire of Hashem Yitbarach of before creation. But when Hashem Yitbarach decided to create the world and to bring down His light into the world, He had to dress that light into vessels. And those vessels are the letters of the Torah. But also to those important vessels, the letters of the Torah, they also have a purpose. Their purpose is to connect you to the step before, to the light of before creation. And that's the faith. And like we said, a blinded person, it's a person that sees too much light. But actually, he's blind, he's all blocked, he cannot see nothing. When you don't have eyes and you see a blank page, a white wall, there's nothing written on it when you don't have eyes, when you're not connected. Wisdom in the nation, you should believe. Michelangelo said that the sculpture, the pestle, is already inside the stone. You just need to carve it outside. He's already inside. He's standing just like that. Exactly like that. He came out in the air. He was standing there for thousands of years. From beginning of creation. But the artist, the person that have a vision, that he believes in himself, he can look through the stone. He can look through the wall, through the paper. And you can start bringing out water of Torah and to water the herds and to let other people drink. And you can write the Likutei Moharan, and you can write the Tanya, and you can write Kedushat HaLevi and the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. Why? Because you connect yourself to the source of your being, to the reason that you've been created. If the Creator would want to create you just as a regular creation with no individuality, He would make you to be like the rest of, let's say, flowers and animals, that even they have something special inside of them, but they cannot create more. They're just themselves. But us, the humankind, and especially the chosen nation, we have the power to choose. And when you choose, and when you open your mouth and choose, and you say, yes, I will, yes, I do, I'm gonna, and you reveal your will, in that moment you change all of the creation. And each and every one of us have that huge power inside of ourselves. Just to reveal it, you have to believe in it. If you are not going to believe in yourself, you will never going to be able to work on yourself, to come to those places that you reveal your talents, and that you have the courage to stand in front of people and to talk and to share, or to paint, or to draw, or to write, or to build, or to do whatever, or to argue, or to talk, or to say what that you have to say, if you will not going to believe in yourself. So for that, every person have to spend hours on hours on hours of his life in that search, finding myself, and to fight on that. I do have someone. You see people outside, empty people. A few days ago came a certain woman to talk to me, and she's standing like that, and she's talking, and I wanted to shake her, to tell her, listen, you're not exist. You're not here at all. Who are you? She's saying, I'm this and I'm that and I'm doing this. And you see an empty person. I told her, listen, I know most of the rabbis are not doing that. But I will tell you one thing. You're an amazing woman. You're very special. You have a lot of things inside of you. You're so kind. You're so good. You have your individuality. It was in Hebrew. I could say it alone. So she said, but should I do this? Shouldn't I do that? I told her, you have to find yourself. Before you're going to take decisions, there's no one to take decisions when you're not there. You need to take decisions. You need to find yourself. You need to want to succeed. You want to decide, all right, I'm going to do it. All right, I'm going to make it. And it's true, there are a lot of tests on those things. When you take that decision of, let's say a person wants to move to Eretz Israel, you stand in front of a decision that you don't know what's going to be the end of it. You say, all right, now I'm going to save money and I'm going to make it and that's it. No, what's going to be in a year? What's going to happen in 2 years? Okay, now I'm going to have the money from Nefesh B'Nefesh. But what's going to be in 1 year, in 1 year and a half? Will I have a job? Will I find my Shiur? The language? Where I'm going to live? Jerusalem, Netanya, Gaza? You don't really know where life is going to take you, you know? That's the time that you need to choose. That time have a lot of tests on it. Again, why? Because Hashem really wants you to choose, because your choice, your free choice have a lot of power. And if it's all going to be open for you and all going to be clear, so it's going to be worthless. It won't be important at all. If you know that, can it be such a big mitzvah, now the light is off and now I know that that's the plug, you say? The plug? Matag? Switch to, I'm just going to put, it's not a big thing if I know. But if you don't know and you look through all of the rooms and you search for it and then you try and you fail and you try again and until you found it in the end and then you pushed it and you turn on the lights, it counts a little bit more. It counts a little bit more. And when it counts a little bit more, it has more effect on your future and on the future of all of Am Yisrael. That's why the journey to Eretz Israel is so hard in the mind, because by choosing that decision of making that effort, you open the path for other people to do the same. Like we said, when you check yourself and you say, hey, I made it once, twice, 3 times, you have the confidence to choose to do it again, 4th time and 5th time. Why? Because you have your life experience. So you know for sure, I made it once, I made it twice, so why won't I do it again? When other people looking at you and they see that you're also succeeding, it gives them the power. And especially when you're humble. When you're not saying, no, I made it because I'm rich, I made it because no, I'm just like you and I made it. So they say, all right, I can do it too. So when they have 10 people that done that already, they say, all right, it's not such a big deal. And if they have 100 people, it's a piece of cake. Thousands of people, no problem. That's it. The doors are open. Everyone gonna do it. This is why it's so hard. Because all of the beginnings are hard. But only because that you have now the merit. Because you now have the merit to open the borders. And you have the merit also to bring down the faith. Because when you now count on Hashem Yitbarach, it's going to be okay. I'm not going to work. And if I'm going to work only in a place that will not going to distract my thoughts from being connected to Hashem, to the Creator. I will only going to do good things with my life. I will not going to work in empty places. I will not going to spend my hours in just talking, gossip, lashon hara, talking nonsense, looking on thousands of people, of women all over the place, talking about money. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to commit myself to the Creator. I'm going to be strong, and I will going to pray for those things that I need to achieve. And I'm going to put all of my powers again and again, and I don't care. When you do that, you open that option for hundreds or thousands of other people to do the same. People that don't have that wake up from inside. People that don't have that courage to take that step by themselves. But when they're going to see that you've done that, for them it's going to become to be a lot easier, and they're going to do it, and their mitzvot going to be written on your name. And that's why Hashem Yitbarach, He wants us to succeed, and that's why we have a green light, each and every one of us, to count on Hashem in 100% and not to have the slightest doubt. And if you see that you have piles, tons, mountains of obstacles, of difficulties, that's the time to close your eyes, not to open and to check and to find out and to make phone calls. No, close your eyes and go straight, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, he enters into the fire, into the fog, into the smoke, into the massacres, into terror attacks, and he's not afraid. Why? Because God is there, because Shama Elokim, and he's not afraid. And after you saw Moshe done that, all right, Avraham Avinu, he done that also. A lot of other Jews actually during history, they made it also. So you can start work on your own confidence to say, I'm going to do the same, you know what? What do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? I'm suffering, I'm not enjoying life. I do want to serve Hashem. I do want to make aliyah, to come to Eretz Israel. I want to taste what it means to live in the Holy Land, to learn Torah from righteous people. I want to spend my time in the Western Wall, to do long hitbodeduyot in the forest, in the field. I want to do that also. I want to go to the springs, to the lakes. I want to go to the Galilee Sea. I also want to go to Tzfat, to Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, to Tveria, to Rabbi Akiva, to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Why won't I live my life like that also? I can see Obi do that, I can see Yosef do that, I can see Moshe Shaul do that, I can see Sismai do that, I can see Shlomo do that, I can see each and every one of us doing that, so why can't I? I can do that also, you know what, I'm going to do that. And why not? And I'm going to do that, and you're going to do that, and you're going to succeed. And when you're going to do that, a lot of other people also going to do that. And for them it's going to be a lot easier. For you it's hard now. For them it's going to become to be easier. Why? Because they're going to use your powers. And your power is required now. And it's going to give you power to give your powers. Because when you help yourself, you help others. And it's on all terms of life. When you work on Shlom Bayit, it's the same. Peace in the house, it's the same. When you work with your children to give them faith and the will to serve Hashem and to live life of faith, by that you help other people also. And when you work on your confidence in Parnassah, and when you think how to do things in the world, and you want to talk and go and distribute the light of Rabbeinu, the light of Hashem, and to talk to people, no matter what you choose, no matter which section of your life you work out of your heart, and you reveal your inner will, and you do it, and you work with courage and with prayers, and you go for it, and you say, Hashem, please be with me. You give other people that are standing in the same situation and they don't know what to do, the power to do. And when you can see it and when you cannot see it, you do the same. And actually a lot more is hidden. And you help a lot more people than the people that you see. The reason that they let you see a little bit is only because that you still have sadness and depression, and from heaven they need to cheer you up once in a while to tell you, no, look, other people are also enjoying your light, also enjoying your soul. I say, okay, you're right, because you don't have faith. But if you would have faith, a person that really have faith, he doesn't need no compliments, no good words, no chizukim. He just go and do what that he believes. Do what that he feels that Hashem wants from him. Think about what that we learned from Or HaChaim HaKadosh. Or HaChaim HaKadosh is explaining That verse that is saying, Ki ra'ita shor achicha, chamor achicha. The chamor, it's on the chamor, goes on the shor. Shor achicha. The bull of your brother. And he is explaining, Rovetz tachat masao, that he fell down on the ground from hard work, from all of the weight that he's got on his shoulders. And the Or HaChaim HaKadosh over there is explaining that that brother is Kudsha Berichu. And that bull, that is your friend, it's one of Am Yisrael. If you see a person in Am Yisrael that he doesn't have no powers anymore, and he belongs to your brother, Hashem, the Creator, the Lord, he becomes to be your brother now. He's your brother. What it means that he's your brother? If it's my brother, I can take decisions for him. We're partners. We're equal. It's not my boss. It's not my father. It's not my king. It's my brother. My brother, we're equal. Or Chaim HaKadosh is explaining you the real meaning of that verse. That's the way of looking of Hashem Yitbarach himself. That's how Hashem sees things. When Hashem sends you to the world, he told you actually, go help me. Go for me. I need your help. Be my messenger in the world. Go do my job. Do things that I'm not able to do from here, from heaven. I'm now in heaven. I'm now in the exile, Hashem is saying. I'm not with you. I need you to do things over there. It's like a soldier that go as shaliach, as a messenger of the general, of the people. So it's true, there's no doubt, his level is lower, he's just a regular soldier, he's not an officer, he's not a general, he's just a regular soldier. Now, he's the commander. Now, in the front line, he's in charge on the safety and on the security and on the life of all of Am Yisrael. He's going to take now decisions. No phones, no connection, middle of the night, time of stress, bullets flying in the air. You're the boss. You and no one else. Not the Ramatkal, not the general, not the leaders, no one. There's no one in the world. There is only you. You and your weapon, you and your life. And that's our mission. Each and every one of us, a warrior, go and do your job. Go and complete the mission. For who? For your brother. For Hashem Yitbarach. For Kudsha Berichu. En melech belo am. There is no king without a nation. We're his nation. We are the ones that are going to reveal his kingship in the world. And he himself cannot reveal himself in the world without us. He is not able to do that. He's got all of the powers to do things through nature. We're his nature. We're his creation. We are his followers. As much as we're going to nullify ourselves to him more and more and more, to keep our will to be straight, to want what that he wants from us, and on that you also need to have hours and hours of conversations with yourself. What Hashem wants from me? What's his real will? Not only what's that written, like we said. There's a lot between the lines that Hashem wants from you. A lot between the lines. Actually, the real will of Hashem Yitbarach is between the lines. Hashem doesn't want no constrictions. Hashem just had to use them. But the real will of Hashem Yitbarach is that you're going to express Hashem Yitbarach through your own soul, through your own vessels. Hashem is saying to Moshe to do one thing, and Moshe is doing a second thing, a different thing. Hashem is sending Moshe to give Torah to Am Yisrael. He breaks the holy tablets. He tells them, I'm coming in 2 days. Moshe, go and tell them Hashem will come in 3 days. Hashem is saying, not allowed to build no altars outside of Beit HaMikdash. Eliyahu Navi goes and builds the biggest altar ever. A sacrifice, animals, everything in Mount Carmel, in front of the Sea of Haifa. No problems. Why? Where you have that courage? What are you doing? Hashem said no. Yeah, but I know his will. Why? Who gave you the permission? He's your commander. No, he's my brother. When he's your brother, you're allowed to do whatever you choose to do. He's your brother. It's true. It's your brother. Why are you driving that car? It's my brother's. You allow. If it's your brother, you allow. If it's the king, you're not allowed to move. But he himself made himself to be as our brother. He created us to be able to commit ourselves to him so much, to nullify ourselves to him so much that we're going to become to be like him, equal to him. That's what Rabbi Nachman Breslov is saying, that a person should pray in that way, that he's going to say, Yehi ratzon milfanai. How you say that in English?
May it be my will.
May it be my will. My will. Why? Because Retzon Yireav Yaseh. Because if you're really Yireh Shamayim, if you really want the will of Hashem Yitbarach, Hashem going to keep your will. Hashem going to do what that you want. So if you're really going to want it, and you're really a man of truth, it means that it's the will of Hashem. What that you want, it's the will of Hashem. When you check yourself and you see, my heart is pure, now I want a piece of cake, Hashem wants you to eat that cake. If your heart is contaminated and all day long you see that you just want cakes, and you check your heart and you see, I have tons of lusts and desires, so you cannot say for sure that's the will of Hashem. No, there is an issue. There's some things to clarify. But if you check yourself and you see, hey, I'm clean, I don't want nothing for myself, and now I want that carrot juice, I want that car, I want that house, you should know that that is the will of Hashem, and Hashem going to help you to achieve it and to succeed all of your goals. Even if you want weird things, even if you want things that no one else is going to agree with you and going to walk with you, even if you're going to become to be like Avraham HaIvri, that all of the world are standing from one side and you're from the other side. Even if everyone going to tell you you're crazy, you're a lunatic, what are you talking about? No one ever said those things. Why are you crossing so many borders? I don't know. I feel like that's what Hashem wants from me. And if you really work on yourself every day to clarify, to clean yourself from selfish will, and to aim yourself to one purpose in life, to serve, to commit myself to the truth, to whatever Hashem, which rebuke that He's going to rebuke me in, I will accept. I want to hear what it is got to tell me, and I'm going to change myself, I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to do it bodedut on it, I'm going to pray on it, I'm going to see what to do. At least I'm not going to lie. If you find yourself that you're a man of truth, so then you allow even to hold the truth, and to throw it down to the ground, and to hold the real truth, the Emet La'amita, like that Moshe Rabbeinu done, like that HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself done. When the truth, the attribute of truth, the Midat HaEmet came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and told him, don't create the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'tashlech Emet Arza. He threw down the truth to the ground. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that his seal is a seal of truth. He took the truth and threw it down to the ground. And he said, Emet me'eretz titzmach. The truth is going to grow with time from the ground, slowly, slowly. Why? Because there is higher truth than the truth, even from the truth of the letters of the Torah. And that's the will. That's the illumination of the will. That's your real heart. That's your real, holy, pure heart that desire only Hashem. When you express that, when you reveal that heart inside of you, when you find that really you do have one, for that you need to work hard to find a heart like that. But when you find it, and you start to open it, and it starts to reveal itself, in that moment, you're beyond the Torah. You're beyond the Torah, you're beyond the mitzvot, you're beyond this world. You're not part of this world anymore. You're a brother with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're with Him in heaven. You're a visitor here in this world, you have a job, you have a mission, you're an alien, you came to do your job here, you have a mission. That's it. You're from a different world. And each and every one of us have that power. And if you don't believe in that, so that's the time to go to the field and to talk about it with Hashem. Who am I to cry? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I want to know who I am. I want to know who I am. Let me find myself. Let me know my mission in life. Who am I? All of my life I'm going to just walk like an empty person, like shadows in the darkness. I'm just going to walk like that, like an animal, looking for food, for lust, for desire, for women, for cars, for houses. My salary, talking lashon hara, cursing people, hating people. That's how you're going to spend your life. Be an outsider. Live life of purpose. Search the inner truth. Your connection to your own soul, to your own spiritual being, to who that you are from inside. And if you're going to demand that, if you're going to want that, you're going to find that. If you're going to want that BMW, you're going to have it also. If you're going to want that Mercedes, you're going to have that also. Whatever you're going to decide that you're going to have, you're going to have. So aim high. Aim to the heights. Put your powers on the biggest things of them all. Why to ask for a 2-room apartment? Why? Why not to think big? Purchase a huge hotel, a big building, 1,000 meters, the square ground, the ground, 20 floors, 30 floors. Let's bring people. Let's bring Am Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. You're thinking about your rent. Stupid people. Stupid people. You're thinking about your rent. Stupid people, stupid students. Thinking about your rent. Think about millions of Jews that are lost in darkness. Think about them. Your rent is not an issue in this world. Hashem gonna supply you a lot more than what you need. A lot more than what you need. You don't need nothing. You need your brothers here with you. That's what you need. What do I need? How can you sleep in your apartment after paying your rent when your brothers are over there and you don't know if they're going to let them in? You don't know if they're going to drown the boats. You don't know if they're going to shoot the aeroplanes. You don't know if they're going to open their bank accounts. You don't know nothing. No one have no guarantee. Everyone that is here today is a refugee. He been saved. You are here today, thank God with all of your heart. Now, there's only one thing, like Rabbi Aaron Kotler, only one thing to save the world, to save the brothers, to save the sisters. Rabbi Shlomo Karlibach went hundreds of times back to Russia. What are you doing? Brothers are in Russia, so I'm going to Russia. Rabbi Nachman Breslov already made it to Eretz Yisrael. Goes back to Uman. What are you doing, Rabbi Nachman Breslov? What are you doing? I'm looking for a solution how to bring all of Am Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. That's his answer. Rabbi Milubavitch, he could make it to Eretz Yisrael. He would be very welcomed here in Eretz Yisrael. The government would give him a very huge villa here in Rechavia if he would come. No problems. He never went. Why? Because the brothers are still over there. And you cannot leave your brothers. And we know that we don't have the power to be strong as Rabbi Milubavitch to change the world from United States. We don't. We're weak. We have to be here. The purpose is to bring them over also. How are we going to do that? No one knows. But we should want. And if we're going to want with all of our hearts, we're going to make it. It's going to happen. And it's already happening. So from that, from the small miracles, you learn on the big ones. From those thousands that we already have, we're going to see the millions coming. Thank you very much. Chazak u'baruch.